Another Japanese brand decided to jump on the 1x4 skill bandwagon, and of course it has to be Azur Lane. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix, this time around 14th to 19th of July 2025. So with this weekly figure news series, we go through all of the new scale figures on pre-order for the past 1 week, only scale figures. And for the genuine figure section, both male and female characters. For the third-party resin figure section later on, only female characters, because otherwise this would go on for hours. Fortunately for me this week, there are way lesser new figures on pre-order on both sides, and the probable reason why is because Wonder Festival is around the corner. Sometimes they would want to time the pre-order open period of a new figure around OneFest, maybe right before or right after. So this week is quite chill. But that doesn't mean your wallet is safe, because Azur Lane fans just couldn't catch a break. More good news over here, though I'm not sure how this does translate into proper customer support for those of us living outside Japan. Well, Alter has finally acknowledged the quality control issues affecting some of their figures, the very same one affecting Good Smile stuff which we just covered last week, where mold was prematurely growing on brand new anime figures because the clear protective layer they apply on anime figures, specifically the skin region, was compromised in some way. So on Alter's website, there is this article over here, information regarding defects in some products. I won't read the entire article, but there is something new over here that I wasn't aware. There are 2 figures affected. Besides St. Louis luxury handle version, we also have Kasugano Sora China dress style. The latest one that came out a few months ago, not the one from back year 2019, 2017. Yeah, so check out your figures if you own any of these 2, and you can contact Alter at alter-web.jp/contact. I'm not sure how are they going to handle this, because what I'm going to tell you right now is that don't keep your hopes up, because Alter does not have a track record of providing customer support to those of us living outside of Japan. They only offer replacement parts for those living in Japan. At least that was the case in the past. So I'm not sure how are they going to solve this for everyone else, given how widespread this problem is. But you know what? There is no harm contacting them. Maybe there is a chance you might get something. Maybe, yeah. Alright, now we shall move on to new figures on pre-order this week on Hobby Link Japan, this channel's partner. And we go from the largest to the smallest scales as usual. The very first one in the 1x4 scale section is already one of the main highlights this week. And guess what? Another Japanese brand decided to jump on the 1x4 scale bandwagon. And of course, it has to be Azur Lane. This game has been shoving big mommy milkers into your faces because that prints money, and figure companies want it in because it makes the money. So this is Neonmax's very first 1x4 scale figure, Azur Lane Musashi Steel Illustration version, 34,500 yen, May 2026 release. And this is a very convincing one. I would tell you to just go ahead and get it, you know. In case you don't know about Neonmax, because they don't typically release many figures, they became famous for their Kosaka Wakamo Blue Archive figure that was a 1x7. That figure was incredibly popular, incredibly well made, that it had to be re-released. Yeah, not yet out, I think later this year. So their figures are actually good. They also have some original character figures, but it was Wakamo that made them, more popular, more well-known to the public, to the community of anime figure collectors. So this figure is a big yes. Yeah, and we don't have many Musashi genuine scale figures, I think. Only third parties offer them, lots of them at this point. Alright, moving up to the next 1x4 scale, Azur Lane again. But from Alpha Max, we have Bremerton Pilot Counseling version, almost 35,000 yen, May release as well. Okay, Bremerton has to be really popular as well. There are so many figures of her. I'm not sure which one is my favorite. I'm split between the Good Smile and the Alter version, right? And Apex Toys also making figures of her. This one, You know what? At least it is not the typical bunny suit, but this looks like a swimsuit to me. Looks like, but at least, you know, the leopard style texture on her outfit, and then there are 10 lines as well. I just noticed it. I think this is not a bad purchase at all. Yeah, Alpha Max, their skill figures are great. Nowadays, I don't see them making many SkyTube edgy figures. I don't know why. Maybe because it is not making them enough money, right? So they're going for more mainstream stuff like Azur Lane. Yeah, but their figures are great. I actually used to buy the edgy figures. They have been good for many years, so go for it if you like. Bremerton. Moving up next, 1x4 skill. Aldia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Alisa Mikhailovna Kujo. Bunny version, 33,000 yen, January release by Free Ink. Okay. This one is more of a meh figure that I will tell you to wait until after release, and there is a chance where the price might be, right? Is the season 2 confirmed? I can't remember because I really liked the anime adaptation. But my favorite was the main character's younger sister, the Immortal, that little devil, not this Alisa over here. So, when I look at the big picture over here, number 1, seasonal anime. Number 2, plain black bunny girl. Number 3, that means a low effort bunny figure from Free Ink. And I'm not sure if I want to pay the full price tag for it. So I would wait until after release for this one. Yeah. You know the Sakura kimono figures, Senran Kagura by Free Ink? Those are the kind of Free Ink figures that I will tell you to pre-order early. Those are amazing. Though they cost like 40,000 yen. Something like this, don't bother pre-ordering early. Not worth it. Yeah. Moving up next, we have another 1x4 skill by A Dimension Chinese figure brand, a very new brand. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Toru 1x4 skill, just under 18,000 yen for 1x4. May release next year as well. So, I look at this figure. First thing I noticed was the low levels of detail. This feels like looking at those low budget skill figures by Bear Panda at 1x4 by Figmon. They are around 12,000 yen or so, but this is 18k because there are licensing fees to be paid to KyoAni, which is understandable. The thing is that this is still under 20k for 1x4 skill, and even for a low budget figure, this is not some random unknown original character. It is a very famous and well-loved character from an anime, so this is worth getting, despite not being the best thing ever as far as 1x4 skills are concerned. So this week's 1x4 skills, 4 of them, out of a total of 4, 3 of them are excellent, including this one. Go for it if you are a big fan of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Me, I'm not that big of a fan. Yeah, so I'm skipping this one. Moving up next, okay, there are a few 1x6 skills over here which just went on pre-order this week on HLJ. They were already on pre-order last week on AmiAmi, so I'll just go through them quickly without going into details because there's no point repeating myself over. But there is this one figure which I really need to bring up because I have no idea what is happening. This is unprecedented. This is the first time something like this has happened, where the same figure is costing an additional 8 or 9,000 yen compared to AmiAmi. Yes, I'm not sure what's happening. This Hobby Sakura 16 Sweet Cat figure, when she went on pre-order AmiAmi last week at around 36,000 yen, everyone were criticizing it for being overpriced, right? Now HLJ wants 46k. I'm not sure what is going on. My guess, right, my speculation over here is that they couldn't find a proper distributor for this figure. There is some kind of exclusivity going on, at least within the Chinese market, and then they had to go through maybe a third-party agent, a middleman to secure the supply of this figure, and that really increased the price. The same reason why Ninin Game, their figures are sometimes a few thousand yen more expensive than many other websites, especially for exclusive stuff because they are acting as a proxy agent of some kind to get their hands on exclusive stuff which you can't get anywhere else, right? So this is what that might be happening behind the scenes. Once again, I'm just guessing over here. I'm not sure. Okay, and then there is this Slay the Gods Honging Ghostfire Plium by PPDF. 10k, went on pre-order last week, low budget, Chinese scale figure that are actually good quality. And then we have this Ghostblade Yulia by Taikula, 13,400 yen, same as AmiAmi. Pre-order opened last week, now available here on HLJ. Dress Erin, original character by Animaster, 6,800 yen. Also now on HLJ, if this is where you prefer to get the figures because AmiAmi bans you for some reason. Okay, there's many old figures over here from previous weeks. So the new stuff this week, 1x6 skill Tatsugari no Show Elf Irene White version by Q6, 25,000 yen, April release. So Q6, I've described this brand many times, but for the sake of some people who may be watching this video, this channel for the very first time, Q6 is an average figure brand, like B tier, B ranking. The figures are perfectly average, but not a bad purchase because you know what, they give you value. They make very big figures, 1x6, sometimes 1x5, but they don't ask more than 25,000 yen, and you can undress those figures. They are customable, so they're not exactly bad value purchases. Yeah. So if you love to loot your elves, then this is worth considering, though in my case, I would go for the green color version because you know what, the figure just pops way more. Like the colors are more vibrant, more attractive to look at, and it feels like green is a natural default color for elves. You know, they live in the trees, in the forest. Yeah, just more color contrast in general. So green is what I would go for in this case. And yep, of course, this figure is customable both on top and bottom. Moving up next, we have 1x6 Scale Foot Buff Adia DX version bonus edition by Deities Collector, Chinese figure brand again. Almost 24,000 yen for the most expensive variant where you get to cast off, and also, yeah, a wall scroll as usual. So this is for MILF lovers. I think this is a great buy. The paintwork on the hair already caught my attention, you know, the gradient paintwork. I love that. And this is not a bad looking figure at all, just that a bit on the simple side as far as the design of the outfit is concerned. But overall, this is like semi-diorama setup as well. Her legs, her feet is in an ice bucket from the looks of it. Is it ice bucket or is it just soapy water, foam? That looks like foam, not ice. But anyways, great looking figure for 24k, and once again it is customable. And then if you want the figure customable but without the wall scroll, there is an option for that, 22,000 yen DX version regular edition, which is so weird, they call it DX means deluxe. So what do you mean by deluxe regular edition? Sometimes these figure companies, the way they name their products is so weird. Like Japanese, they like to call standard edition STD edition. No, don't worry, you're not getting HIV or syphilis in your anime figures. And the cheapest version over here, just under 20k, this one is not customable, made with the Chinese domestic market in mind, because the government over there is going after Chinese brands, local companies that make 18 plus stuff. At least officially, though there are some figure stores in China who will still find a way to acquire stock for the 18 plus variants and sell it over there. Yeah. So for everyone else outside of Japan, there is not much reason to buy the safe for work version unless, the customs in your country is so strict that they will confiscate your stuff. Then you might want to consider this one if you insist on getting the figure and you don't want your stuff being confiscated. Yeah. Okay, moving up next, we have 1x6 scale low budget figure of a seasonal anime character. Interesting. So we have 1x6 scale Hokkaido Gales are super adorable. I've watched this anime. I think it was okay. Super chill kind of slice of life anime. Super wholesome stuff in a way, right? But can be a bit boring at times. Minami Fuyuki Pajama version by Hanabi, 9,900 yen, March release. Okay, Hanabi, they make low budget figures mostly, and then they just put their first premium scale figure on pre-order a week or two ago. That was an Azur Lane scale figure, yeah. But otherwise, they already have 3 or 4 scale figures, all of them low budget stuff, released out there, and it is probably just a matter of time before I review at least one of them because I'm pretty curious and they look pretty good based on user pictures online, so I'm curious as well. Is it worth getting? Yes, absolutely. Okay, moving up to the next one here. Now we move into 1/7 skill territory. This is from last week. Already went on pre-order on AmiAmi. Now available on HLJ. Flower Imitation DR Doctor. This is like Neko art, right? Looks like it to me. 22,700 yen by Fats Company, June release. I feel like I'm looking at an Arc Knights or even Nikkei character for some reason. Yeah, like a medical doctor in a post-apocalyptic setting. Sci-fi style. Yeah, that is the vibe this character is giving off. I like it actually. Yeah. Okay, moving up next, we have this pair of figures went on pre-order on AmiAmi last week as well. Visinger, Luo Tianyi, and Mo Qingxian. A set for 11,000 yen by Animaster. If you buy them separately, 6,800 yen, not worth it. So get them as a set, now available on HLJ. This is a good price for a pair of 1/7s. Okay, moving up next, for the new stuff this week, one of the main highlights this week, Genshin Impact Shenhe Lonesome Transcendence version by Apex Toys, 23,000 yen, September release. You see, I have to ask this question, is this a little bit too late? This is a joke in the anime figure community at this point, where Genshin barely has anything when it comes to anime figures, especially skilled figures, right? The game launched in around year 2020, I think, amidst the pandemic. And even until today, year 25, almost 5 years later, not many skilled figures out there for some reason, right? The reason for it is anyone's guess, but you know, Shenhe is not exactly a very new character in the game, I think. She has been around for years, so is it too late to make one now, to sell one now? Because there's this problem of fatigue, right? So when you play a game, the same game, too much, and then you start getting bored of it, and then you start losing interest. Fatigue, right? So Genshin at its peak was around year 21, year 22, but by today, the popularity has been declining pretty quickly. Well, depends in what region, of course. In Malaysia, my country, is still very popular, this game. But in many other regions, people are losing interest. People are even hating on Genshin now, calling it Genshit. So, once again, is it a little bit too late? What are your thoughts on this? I don't question Apex Toys. Their figures are amazing. They are good quality. But the timing of this going on pre-order, I have to question that quite a bit. And you know what? Hu Tao just got released, right? Hu Tao by Apex Toys. And most likely, I will proceed to review it. But truth to be told, I was losing interest in that figure as well. And I was thinking of forfeiting my pre-orders. But thinking back, if I really lost interest, I should still pay for it, review it, and then sell it. Because Genshin is popular in my country. Probably won't be difficult to sell, yeah. So there we have it. Shenhe, however, I do like this character design a lot, so I'm still contemplating on pre-ordering. I did not pre-order Yae Miko, man. I did not pre-order. Though it is not too late to pre-order yet if I want to. I can still do so in Taobao, but I don't know, man. Yeah. Okay, moving up next. Hatsune Miku World is Mine version is back after so many years. So there was an older version from like 10 years ago, by now at least 10 years ago, where she is lining on a photo frame. It was a magnetic figure. It sticks to a photo frame and then you hang it on the wall. There are two versions. I think the color of the frame was different, either black or brown color, right? And that was a very popular figure back then. Yeah. And the very same version is now back, but sitting position on the couch. And going for 25,273 yen by Good Smile Company, releasing in October 2026. Yeah, long wait. And this is like double the price of the older Hatsune Miku World is Mine 10 years ago. I mean, double the price in Japanese yen, of course. But in your local currency, it is probably like 50% more or 70% more. Not exactly double, but still very expensive. Should you go for it? Yes, for Hatsune Miku fans, I can say that this is worth getting. I'm not a fan of literally every Miku figures that comes out. Some of them look outright ugly or questionable, at least in the design. But this one is quite nice, quite, for some reason, it looks pretty, I don't know, luxurious. or pretty stylish in a way, this is a good purchase. Yeah, so go for it. Moving up next, the very first, or at least one of the first, Snowbreak Containment Zone scale figures to go on pre-order. Third parties have been making a few Katya client figures for a while. Finally, we have one by Good Smile Company. I believe this is by Good Smile Arts Shanghai, right? Just over 15,000 yen swimsuit figure, August release. And you know what? I'm thinking of pre-ordering it. I like this a lot. Like, I don't always like swimsuit figures because they tend to be lower detail. But Good Smile Company over and over again has found ways to make their swimsuit figures look attractive, though that is also partially dependent on what the original artwork was like in the first place, right? So yes, I like this a lot. I love the colors like blue and yellow, classic color theory, warm versus cold. You pair blue with yellow or orange in literally anything, your graphic design, your anime character, they will look amazing. Yeah, so this one, big yes for me. The question is, should I pre-order it now or just wait until after release? Yeah, that is the only question. Moving up next, we have Siesta Color Version from The Detective Is Already Dead. Seasonal anime as well. By Prismawing at 1/7 scale, 40,000 yen, August release. I know, it is overpriced. I know. But this is nothing new to Prismawing already, nothing new. Apparently, the figures are very expensive in general because they have this very special kind of coating they apply to the figures, and it feels like satin in a way, like a satin touch feeling kind of coating. A bit of, I'm not even sure how to describe it, man, but it is a bit different. It feels a bit different from the rest, right? So that is one of the main selling points, but I'm not sure if that alone can justify 40k for this. I know that massive wedding dress over there means more mold required to make them, and that increases the price of the figure. If you noticed, many wedding dress style figures, if their dress are like super luxurious, super big, super fluffy, you know, spreading across a large surface area, those kind of wedding dress figures, they tend to be really expensive regardless of brand. Good Smile and the 02, the wedding dress version, was pretty pricey. And then Apex Toys New Jersey wedding dress version, pretty pricey. Full Rio Phoenix Hestia, for example, from Damachi, the wedding dress version was 40k as well. So there is a legitimate reason for it, right? Those parts, they need more steel flasks, more molds to make them. And those steel flasks cost a lot of money. I'm not sure whether to label it as merely expensive or outright overpriced. I'm not sure. I'm undecided in my stance over here. However, for Siesta, Detective Is Already Dead. Yeah, if she is your ultimate waifu, sure. I do like her. I mean, in terms of her character, her personality, but not sure about spending 40k for something like this. New Jersey was different, okay? That was Azur Lane. This is seasonal anime, they're not comparable. Okay, moving up next, we have Kurumi Tokisaki X Grid version from Dead Alive by Design Coco, 32,000 yen, August release. August next year, of course. Design Coco, their figures, they are fine, right? They are fine. Their quality and everything, I don't have much to complain about. In fact, I was thinking of getting my hands on their pink Miku. Yeah, the one in, I think, Senbon Sakura, right? That was really cheap. That's partly why, like 15,000 yen. And the value on that Miku is slowly going up. In fact, she's already expensive in some places. So I was thinking of getting it just because, firstly, the figure is really nice. And secondly, yeah, review it, of course. I haven't purchased the Design Coco scale figure yet. Just a matter of time. To me, you know, Kurumi with this kind of modern, stylish outfit, modern jacket, I'm not sure what to think. I think it is a unique combination, but it feels a little bit out of character to me. Because when I see Kurumi, the first thing that comes to mind is Gothic Lolita. This is more like a mix of steampunk. That goggle is steampunk style, but everything else is modern casual. Yeah, the jacket and so on, yeah. So it is a weird combination if you ask me, but it still looks great for sure. Moving up next, we have Solarin 1/7 scale colors, great. Original character, 21,000 yen, June release. You know, I really bought their Colors Blue, which came out like at least a year ago, if not longer than that, maybe 2 years ago. Their Colors Blue because that character has such a nice Zettai Roiki. One of the nicest ties I've seen in anime figures, but until today I haven't bought it. Not too difficult to find. Now they have Colors Red and Colors Yellow is on the way. So they're making Bishoujo Power Rangers. Yeah, in a way. And they look great. So 21,000 yen if you want detailed anime girl, detailed anime character. Yeah, go for it. I like this a lot because of the crossbow. I love my anime girls with weapons, right? But I shall just wait for March 7th by Apex Toys. Yeah, the one from Honkai. Moving up next, another seasonal anime character being made into a premium scale figure. Coming from Alice Glint, we have Arya and Tama from Beheneko. 24,500 yen, June release next year. This figure is marked, labeled as 18 plus on HLJ because you can remove that cat over there and see at least one of her oppai completely exposed. So yeah, a bit of fan service. I watched this anime up to like episode 3 and then I gave up. Yeah, we all men love our big bouncy oppais, even more so on blonde elves, but the anime felt like all style and no substance to me. Or at least the novel or the manga it was based on. Typical, isekai stuff. You die, you get reincarnated, and then stuff like that. And yeah, it is all playing around with her, with all the weird camera angles, and I learned so, man. I'm at that age where merely mouth edgy is not enough to make me happy anymore. Alice Glint, quality-wise, they are fine as well. Of course, not at Altos level, but no complaints from me. Yeah, solid overall. Okay, and this figure, if you want her, before I forget, you may want to get her on AmiAmi. Yup, the AmiAmi exclusive version. 27,500 yen now. That is getting a bit way too expensive. But you do get an extra faceplate and a print apparently. Yeah. Alright, moving up next. Another seasonal anime character, but my teen romantic comedy snafu was pretty popular. Yeah. So we have Yui Uegahama Starry Dress version by Cyber Agent, known as E-Stream or Shibuya Scramble figure. 21,000 yen, June release next year. I find it interesting that Cyber Agents or E-Stream, they are keeping the prices in check nowadays. They don't make that many 30,000+ yen scale figures anymore, maybe because they're not selling very well, I imagine. Yeah. And their figures tend to be really good. They do have the occasional quality control issues, like their No Game No Life Shiro was really notorious for it. But guess what? It shot up to 80,000 yen anyway. And then the Lancer Ultra, which I reviewed by E-Stream, that was amazing. The price on that is mostly steady, still around the 25,000 to 30,000 yen price range, not going up, not going down. That one is worth getting if you are okay with paying for the shipping cost. But for this Yui Uegahama, well, for the fans of this character or anime, I mean, go for it if you like her. This is not too expensive, really. But my favorite Uegahama figure isn't this one. Yeah, so let's move on to the next one over here. We have two Love Live figures from PM Office A again, or Plum. This is Mia Taylor, almost 22,000 yen after a small discount. October release this October, not next year. Because PM Office A, they always get their figures out so quickly. I'm not sure how they are doing it. And it is funny, you know, each time I see a figure with a release date, more like a release month, and then the year wasn't mentioned clearly unless I take a closer look and read the fine print over there. But just going by the company alone, I know it is October 26 or October 25. So if this was a Good Smile or Outer figure and they say October release without specifying the year, I will assume it is year 26. When I see PM Office A, I immediately knew it is year 25, like in 3 months, because that is their track record. Moving up next, another seasonal anime character, Elsa from Sasaki and Peeps. This one I really enjoyed, even though it was like sort of isekai, yet at the same time it isn't. Yeah, not exactly true isekai, but you know what? I really enjoyed it. I finished the whole season 1. I think season 2 is on the way. My favorite part was episode 2, where they were detectives, they were investigating something, private investigator, and then an NTR incident was unfolding right in front of them. It was hilarious. Yeah. So this scale figure here is by Kotobukiya, 20,000 yen, February release next year. Pretty random. I'm not sure why suddenly they decide to make Elsa over here. What about the other female characters? Are they going to go ahead and make them? I'm not sure, but this feels so random. Kotobukiya, there's nothing much to say. We all know that the QC, the quality is pretty consistent. Moving up next, we have a re-release over here, Albedo Wing version from Overlord 4 by Kadokawa, 27,000 yen, January release. Yep, January next year. This is a re-release. And Albedo, well, if you want to know what this figure is like, go and check out existing user pictures from the first batch of release. This is far from my favorite Albedo figure as well. I think this one is like middle of the pack, not too bad, but not great either. Yeah. She looks fine, but at the same time, you know, doesn't attract me that much. Yeah. But Albedo figures tend to be pretty expensive because of her wings. So 27k for this is actually a great price when you think about it, right? Some Albedo figures go up to 40,000 yen, especially the notorious ones by Fullview and Phoenix from a couple of years ago. This one is still not a bad purchase. Moving up next, we have Digstar, low budget figures. We have these 3 male characters. They are re-releases. Digstar Like a Dragon Yakuza, Kazuma Kiryu, 8,600 yen. And then we have Shun Akiyama, same price, November release. And finally, this one, I need to talk about this one. Technically, I shouldn't be covering this figure because I don't cover action figures on this channel. I'm not exactly very knowledgeable about action figures, not to mention I don't collect them anymore. But this Doro figure over here is something y'all need to get one. In my most recent figure haul video, right, I unboxed 5 bootleg Doro figures because there were nothing genuine out there, at least not yet. None were released yet. So I saw those, I was like, why not? And they were so cheap, they cost like nothing, so I picked those up. And on the same day, I filmed that video in my studio. This figure went on pre-order. And this one is so much better because, you know what? You get 2 Doro figures based on this picture and so many parts that you get to post. And they are all hilarious, man. I love this. I love this where she's carrying 2 plastic bags. Is that goldfish or whatever? Shopping for grocery. I have no idea what is inside the bag, but I still love it. And then it is so unfortunate that this garbage bin is not included, but you can find this in Taobao. Yeah, look for those diorama accessories 1x12 scale or 1x6 scale. You can find them. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. There is still some time. I was procrastinating, though I'm not sure why. I should have just smashed the pre-order button because this thing is so cheap anyways. Yeah, maybe the size is very small, sure, which is why it is cheap, but who cares? This is made by Snail Shell Studio, which is a Chinese brand which are gaining a lot of attention today for making excellent action figures, both 1x12 and 1x6, and they don't cost as much as Figmas sometimes, but the quality is excellent. Snail Shell Studio. Yeah, this is by them. So pre-order yours today if you haven't done so. And that is all for HLJ section. Now we move on to AmiAmi for more exclusive figures. But before I proceed, as usual, if you're interested in any of the figures I just covered, or you want to purchase or pre-order literally anything else, and you shop on HLJ, please do make use of my affiliate links down in the description below to enter Hobby Link Japan. And that is how you support this channel. Yeah, simple as that. So sometimes you may see a link appear on the top right corner of the video. You can also click those buttons and enter HLJ that way. Alright, now we are on AmiAmi for some exclusive items, though I'm not sure if this is exclusive or not, because many Kadokawa figures, they don't show up in HLJ or they show up way later, right? So this KD Call, Gushing Over Magical Girls Maja Baser swimsuit version by Kadokawa, 21,000 yen. This is the special package edition, which is the one you should get because she comes with 1 extra faceplate and that is an excellent face expression, right? Yeah, this figure is going to be quite questionable for very obvious reasons. I don't even want to show you the full picture on YouTube because I don't know what will happen, but go for it. This is great. I love it, man. Okay, so the standard version, I did not even open, or I opened the tab, is 20,000 yen, but why bother? The price difference is, 1,000 yen? Why did the standard version even exist in the first place, right? Okay, moving on to the next one here. The next few figures, I'm just going through them very quickly because these are not new figures and I would not like to repeat myself again and lengthen the video unnecessarily. So, Kadokawa, sometimes they re-release their older figures and they make them exclusives like limited period. So, AmiAmi bump all of these figures up their front page. So, this Kadokawa KD called FGO Assassin Kama figure, I haven't purchased it yet because no money. I want it. She's getting a limited re-release at 34,000 yen, same as the first release price almost 2 years ago. Releasing this September. And there is a small pre-order window, right? If you want to pre-order it early, more like as soon as possible. Because sometimes pre-order close very soon because the quantities are pretty limited. The next one here, also an existing figure that has been on pre-order for months or maybe came out before. This is very familiar to me. Like I've seen this somewhere before, right? This RAM Graceful Beauty version at 25k releasing this September. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. And then there was an Emilia, right, that comes in a pair with this RAM figure. And then the next one here, this is something you should avoid, like if you pre-ordered one, cancel it now. This figure was terrible. And if you don't believe me, go and check out user pictures on MFC. And you will get the answer over there. This figure is terrible. It is like you buy a Blu-ray disc or a Blu-ray package and then you get the figure, something like that, right? I think the first release was a bundle in some way, and then now you can get the figure separately in this re-release. But you know what? Please don't. This feels like a pop-up grade L in some way, a low-budget scale figure, but you get Kadokawa tags because they are an anime producer. They hold the license to all these things, so they can price things however they want. And they know that this anime, this Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, which I finished the whole series, they know that it is popular, so they are price gouging you. They are scalping you in some way. This figure is more like a 13 or 15,000 yen figure. It is not worth this much. Yeah, the detail level, the quality is, it is bad. Okay, moving up next, we have this figure, I and Aqua, 20,000 yen. But you know what? Go to Taobao, you can find one brand new for 550 Chinese yuan, which is even lower than this 20k price tag. You can still find it. So, it is a figure that I do highly recommend to fans of Oshinoko. I think this is really adorable, and it is not very often we get figures of mother and child, but can get it way cheaper. This is not a rare figure, right? We released this September. Moving up next, we have, this Spice and Wolf Holo. Same thing, this thing went on pre-order before. Now they bumped it up the front page, coming out this September. Nice figure though. Up next, this Konosuba Aqua figure, they are low budget figure. I think they are quite small, 12,000 yen. The dimensions is actually 18 cm. Yeah, they are pop-up grade size, which is why it is so small. Don't get fooled by Kadokawa. And Megumin is already pre-order sold out. Went on pre-order earlier today. A few hours later, sold out. Yeah, 9,900 yen only. So as you can see, if this is really limited production and now they pre-order sold out so quickly because Megumin is very popular, it kind of shows us that everyone wants affordable figures, right? And I plan to discuss this topic in a separate future video, where there is this new trend among anime figures, very new. I'm just starting to see it in the past 1 year or so, but I will save that for a future video. Up next, we now go into the major content section in AmiAmi. The first two figures, I covered them before, but on OSGK weeks ago. Yeah, so AmiAmi is offering them because they are licensed figures in a way, It is resin figure, but original character, so they are licensed. So this Praying Nun 1/6 scale by Odd is 34,000 yen if you want to get it here. I love her face though, very cute face. And then the next one here, from Bishogumi. I just covered this last week. Yeah, original character now available on AmiAmi for just under 16,000 yen if you want it over here. And this thing is actually customable. As for the actually new figures this week, we have 3 of them. The first one is Comic at Anturium 10th Anniversary. They misspelled anniversary there. Grateful Bloom. Key Visual Anera Illustration Danimaru. Okay, 1x6 by Nocturne. One of the more excellent brands among edgy figure brands. 33k does not come cheap and releasing in June next year. Quite detailed, I like it, but not my favorite edgy figure, I suppose. Like, the character design doesn't really vibe with me that much, something subjective, but quality wise, I never question Nocturne, they are excellent. Moving up to the next one here, Summer Raido Touka, 1x6 scale by Snowball. Never heard of Snowball. So just under 22,000 yen, releasing in June 2026 as well. I like the pose, it is something a bit different, like she pulls down her jeans, you know. Like the pose is not exactly new, but the way they did it where she's hugging her legs and then her pants pulled down now, that is something a bit new to me. They are not repeating like the same pose, the same formula over and over again we see in many other edgy figures, and I actually appreciate that. The last one over here, Irie Aitaka illustration by Pion Kichi, 1x6 scale, just under 26,000 yen by Pink Love, Japanese brand, yes. Releasing in September 2026. So those big milk jugs are not my thing, and she's holding a love shape right in front of it. However, you know, the overall character design doesn't look very detailed to me, but you buy it for the art, I suppose. Yeah. Pink Love, I can't say much because I haven't seen their figures before in person as well, though they have been around for a while by now. And finally, we move on to a Ninin game for Beautiful Forge Japan Insight figures, which I always tell you guys to avoid. Unless you're a masochist, you don't mind collecting low quality figures, then by all means, go for it. So this figure over here, the first one, Serving Maid Kiyose Megumi. There are 2 versions. This is the non-edgy version. Under Forge Japan, 24k at 1x5 scale. Big melons, no thank you. And the casted off version where her melons are exposed under Insight, 24k, releasing in March 2026. Okay. The next one here, the second one by Insight, Chibi Dog Girl in Honkai Ichigo 1x5. About 24,000 yen, I think. Why Canadian dollar? So random. The website sometimes it glitches for some reason. So, I mean, Dog Girl is not common. Just that, unfortunately, it has to be an Insight figure. And the last genuine figure on pre-order this week, wow. Black Mask Girl Karasumiya Rina 1x5 as well, 24k, releasing in January. And that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now we move on to third-party resin figure section, making use of OzGK, which is also this channel's partner, but for the third-party section. Okay, we have some nice stuff this week as well. And if you're enjoying this video so far, you'll find it helpful or informative in any way, please do consider subscribing to this channel. It is just one tap, one click away, takes up like 1 second of your time, and that is how you support and help this channel grow. Alright, Anyas, 2 of them this week, only 2. The first one is RX-78 2 Gundam, the OG, the original Gundam. $113 US, and then you get to choose between pink hair and white hair. White hair is a bit weird, though I know that the Gundam's head is white color, but in this case, I'll go for pink just because the colors look nicer. Yeah, this is the kind of crossovers why people buy Anyas on, from third parties, right? This is like genius in a way. The second one over here from CR Studio, which is also one of the better Anya mass producers together with ZH Studio. They have Anya Cos Uchiha Sasuke, and as usual, you get to choose between black or pink hair. This one, I think black hair looks better. Yeah, $99 US, no release date yet, and it looks quite good. Yeah. Moving up next, we have this chibi figure of Marcel from Delicious in Dungeon by Far Studio. $79, December release. This is like joke figure. As long as the size is big enough, I suppose it is worth having if you like this kind of joke figures for some reason. Moving up next, we have 3 One Piece figures over here. The first one, KD Studio, has Boa Hancock in a red leather bodysuit, which looks fantastic, shiny red. $147 December 2025 release. Though I would like your opinion on her face. I think it looks great, right? Like, it is a bit different from the Boa Hancock we see in the anime, but very recognizable. It is like you can tell it's Boa Hancock, and it is actually pretty looking, right? So I don't mind that. Yeah. And as for everything else, it is actually not a very detailed figure, just red color all the way, except for those black color belts. As long as they paint it nicely, I think 147 is perfectly acceptable for 1/6 scale like this, and not to mention the base is quite nice as well. Yeah. Moving up next, we have 2 Nami figures. The first one is by Jinshan Studio, $186. That is for the high version, which I assume is a better base, the one you're seeing on screen. And then the low version, $111, no pictures yet. But I assume that it is the base, right? You get simpler, like plain ground disc base of some kind. Let me check. Yep, I'm correct. It is the base, right? You get simpler base at $117. So it is really up to you. There is a big price difference over there. $117. Oh, no, $111 and $186. That is a big difference just for the base. Face looks fine. Not the best Nami, but looks fine. And if I want a Nami figure, this is the kind of outfit I would want her to be in. Her trademark Shimapan style bikini with jeans, right? This is the Nami I want. The next Nami figure over here, similar outfit, and the color gradient on her jeans is really nice. Demon King's Manufacture Studio. What kind of name is that? $131. 2 versions to choose from over here, very small difference. Grinning or smile. So the face expression, either the teeth is visible or the teeth is not visible when she's smiling. Yeah, small difference. So I think this is the right way to do it. Let people choose. I don't see a point getting both head sculpts when the face expression is mostly similar except for the mouth region. If it was an entirely different face expression, then that would be a different story. Yeah. And the colors on these is quite nice as well. Which is better? I'm not sure. Both of them look nice, but the earlier version, at least you get a more sophisticated base if that is what you prefer. The next one here, C2 Studio has Nico Robin, going for up to $244. I believe the difference is the base though. Let me see. Okay, so this one is $130. Version B. Different outfits. Okay, $130. Version C, you get both for $244. Okay. Version D. $186. Oh, better base. Like the earlier versions we saw, but better base. And version E. Okay. So the face looks fine. And with most third parties, they are so experienced, with One Piece characters, they are less likely to mess up their faces. Not to say it doesn't happen, it still happens, but not very common. Yeah. This is nice. I think I would prefer this one, Yeah. It looks a bit more detailed. The colors, the outfit and everything. Yeah, this is what I would prefer with the diorama base, right? Version D, which is $186. Moving up next, we have Yunmeng Studio Dr. Wang. Actually, right, W-A-N-G, over in English-speaking countries, you all pronounce it as Wang, right? It is actually Wang. Right? In Mandarin, it is pronounced as Wang, not Wang. But yeah, I know, English pronunciation. So, original character, it is licensed, but this is resin, not PVC. $147, December release. And you know what? The character design is kind of meh, low detail. Yeah, I feel like I'm looking at one of those low-budget PVC figures by a Chinese brand that costs like 9,000 yen. Maybe 12,000 yen for this because of the base, and the table and so on. But yeah, low detail. So I'm not sure if this is worth it. The next one here, we have We Art Doing Studio. They do their own original concept art figures. There are some figures that I did not like or find find it weird in some ways, and there are also those that I really like as well. So case by case basis, right? And there were figures by this company in the past that went viral in some way. So I think it really depends on each individual figure. Yeah, how creative it is. This one over here, cake, fairies, strawberry, and matcha. Not really a big fan, to be honest. So there's strawberry and matcha going for $189 each. Yeah, so they do this food concept art figures, right? They would come up with a very nice cake or dessert or whatever, and then they have a figure on it, something like that. Yeah. It is a very creative take on anime figures, but it is more of an acquired taste. Some people like it, some not so much. This one, I don't like it, to be honest. Moving up next. Okay, this one, technically she's not Hadaka, but who knows what YouTube thinks about it, so I had to chop off the figure. Because we have a lolly over here with barely any clothes on, but still covered in the important parts, I mean. So Athena X, a licensed figure brand, has this sun-kissed Emilia original character, $103 only at 1/6 scale, releasing in March 2026. I want it, but you know what? She's like bottom of the queue in terms of how important it is in my collection. I have other more important stuff to buy. So yeah, I'll skip this for now. Really cheap though, $103 only, and she's so cute, you know? And the suntan over here is quite nice. It is like gradual. No, the tan is gradual. It is not a proper line or an obvious line like the way the Japanese companies do it. I prefer this gradual transition if I had to choose. Yeah. Okay, moving up next, we have more original characters. This one is by TGZW Studio. Baby Dinosaur Statue, original character, $468 at 1/4, releasing in this December. This is very pretty, but original character, you know? And TGZW Studio, you know what? If you are a Street Fighter fan, please check out their Juri Han. And if you like it, pre-order it before pre-order closes. Yeah, their Juri Han is really nice. Now, being a licensed brand, and I have seen pictures, like actual production pictures of their figures. I covered it in my latest episode of Which Third-Party Resin Figure Brand is Any Good. I published it last Tuesday, episode 8. Do check it out if you haven't done so. There was something by TGZW Studio. Yeah, and they are actually great. So this is going to turn out good. For some reason, this reminds me of Dragon Ball. Like they are riding on this small, futuristic looking, I don't know, motorcycle of some kind. Reminds me of that a little bit. Moving up next, we have Shark Studio Resident Evil Ada Wong. And this is a very nice Ada Wong figure. Like, the fan service here is done very tastefully. Yeah, the lingerie and everything, I love it. Very beautiful, very classy. $235 at 1/4. Nice. And that is, no, oh. The price is not yet confirmed. TBD over here. To be decided. So that price is not final. It could change. This is more like an early bird pre-order. I'm refusing to believe that this thing is only $235 at 1/4. And that was for the deluxe edition, man. Yeah. I think this is more like $350 to $400 at the minimum. Yeah, but very nice. I love it. Okay, moving up next, we have licensed genuine figure from Tri-Eagle Studio. So in the coming week, HLJ will put this on pre-order as well. Modernia from Nikkei 1/4 scale, $616 over here on OSGK, releasing in September 2026. You know what? I want it, but I'm too poor for one. So I'll wait for the one by Good Smile Company. I think Good Smile Arts Shanghai. They're making the same Nikkei Modernia figure over here. The same character, the same outfit, the same version. But in 1/7 scale PVC. I'll wait for that. I already pre-ordered the mecha version, the sci-fi version, also by Good Smile, coming out next year, I think. But this version, I also want it. For those of you with deep pockets, this is a big yes. Go for it and pre-order one if you like her. Moving up next, we have 1/4 scale Stellar Blade Eve by Craving Eyes Studio, $310 only, December release. Okay, that is a great price for 1/4. Is this the best Eve figure? No, I think I've seen nicer faces of her by other third parties, but this is not bad at all. Right, $310 for this In fact, anyone other than Freeing, anyone please make a proper scaled figure of her in PVC. Hobby Sakura, please. I mean, you guys make so many Nikkei figures now. You guys are making 1/4 scale Nikkei figures for 50,000 yen. And the company behind Nikkei is responsible for Stellar Blade as well. Ask them, get the license and give us a 1/4 e-figure. Yes. Okay, so with this one over here, if you don't mind the way she looks, not the best but not bad either. Yeah, this is great value. Moving up next, this is so random. We have Tifa with tentacles by Mechanical Rabbit Studio. Yep, from Final Fantasy. $425 at 1/4 scale. And no, this is not customable. What you see in the pictures over here is all you get. So it is more like a very crude way of providing fan service. But the face on this Tifa is quite nice for third party, right? Not many third parties can get her face done right. As for everything else, you know what? Display this at home and make sure your parents see it. Yes. Moving up next, okay, PPDF Studio has this 1/4 scale Ash bust statue. Linkage, $39 only. Okay, $39. Yes, it is a bust figure. It is tiny, but $39 is still really cheap though. March 26th release. And I am normally not a fan of bust figures, not my kind of thing, but this is quite nice, you know, reminds me of Ghost in the Shell a bit, a cyborg that has been taken apart, disassembled, dismantled, and then you have the upper torso, maybe, who knows, in some kind of mad scientist lab, right, being tested, something like that, like my imagination is going wild. So, as a bust figure, the concept over here, I actually like it, yeah. And this could be worth it at $39. Moving up next, we have, okay, now we go into anime characters section. The first one here, Detective Conan Vermouth from Freedom Studio, $148, releasing this December. Yeah, something that the genuine brands won't do, and if they do, they only re-release the old stuff. And yes, I'm referring to Mega House. So, at least with third parties, you get more options. If you are a big fan of Detective Conan and you want figures of their characters, you should check out third parties. Okay, moving up next, we have Mikasa Ackerman from Model Power Studio from Attack on Titan. Available in 1/4 and 1/6. The 1/6 scale is going for $212. $212, 1/4 is $276 only. I think we can all see why this is so affordable. Simple figure, right? Not that complex. As for the face, still looks like Mikasa, but a bit different at the same time. I'm not sure if I like it. Yeah. Right. Can't say I recommend it, to be honest. Moving up next, we have Tensei Studio with this Mushoku Tensei Sylphie. So this one is actually customable. And you can get the regular version, the safe version for $188, or you can get the cast-off version only for $188, but if you get both, $344. And this cast-off is not exactly fully cast off in a way. There is still this black color loved shaped objects on the nipple, like stuck on it, something like that. Probably to get around the rules in China, but it is so stupid, to be honest. Yeah. And what is up with the Doro style figure at the bottom there? It is so random. They just wanted to attract people to pre-order it by including that thing in the box, because Doro is like the hottest thing ever at the moment. Yeah. Moving up next, this is interesting. We have RAM from ReZero by the Palpitate Studio, $186, which is a very reasonable price considering the entire package over here. No release date yet. So sometimes I have to wonder why third parties bother with RAM, because even among genuine figures, there are so many options already. They are fighting for scraps in a way, like not many people are going to buy it, but this one is kind of unique in a way because we don't exactly get RAM figures with fan service, you know, so at least this one has a bit of a selling point over there, and it looks nice. I don't expect this figure to turn out bad because you know what? Nobody messes up RAM's face. Even the price figures are perfect, right? So I wouldn't be too worried about this one. If you like what you're looking at, but you don't know the company, you don't know whether it will be any good, at least I don't think they'll mess up a face like Ram's face. Not going to happen. If it does happen, they should just close shop. Yeah. Moving up next, we have Marin Kitagawa by Newborn Studio, $169 at 1/6 scale, December release. So just typical JK, at least to get a nice base over there. And the face on this one is actually good. So Marin Kitagawa is another one of those few characters where many third-party brands couldn't get the face right, but this one is quite nice, right? Just that, Marin Kitagawa resin figure 2 years ago and today, they are quite different. 2 years ago, everyone queued up for the lewd figures of Marin from resin figure brands because there were no genuine figures of her. By today, there are too many choices. That's the problem. Moving up next, we have Eleg from Nikkei by Genius B Studio, $201, March 2026 release. So, this egg over here, why none of the genuine brands have touched her yet? Where are you, Hobby Sakura? Where are you when we need you to make a figure of egg? So with this egg figure, if you are desperate, you really want a figure of her, but there are no genuine figures of her yet, by all means, pre-order it. Yeah, we need PVCs of her. Moving up next, we have Genshin Impact, set of 5, Keqing, Mona, Yoimiya, Eula, and Jane by Bunny Studio. Set of 5 is $384, or separately, each of them are around $90. You know what? This is like a really cheap, low-effort way to bait Genshin fans into buying their figures with just a little bit of fan service, but the actual product, the quality is kind of questionable, you know, like, this is not the first time I'm criticizing the figures by Bunny Studio. Right, not the first time. And if you want to know what their figures look like, my recent episode of the third-party thing, yes, covered as well. Can't recommend it. No, please don't waste your money on this thing. Yeah. Moving up next, this is a genuine PVC figure by MiHoYo, which will pre-order open in Japanese websites most likely next week, but we need to talk about this. So this is from MiHoYo, Castoris 1/8 scale from Honkai Star Rail, $53 and you can buy a deluxe display box if you wish, right, up to $53. So my speculation over here, MiHoYo isn't just slapping their name on the figure, but this is actually a Mietos gift plus 1/8 scale. Yeah, most likely that is the case. Not the first time they have done this, you know, that Paimon figure, that is an Apex Toys figure, but guess who is the brand being mentioned on the product? Yeah, MiHoYo. So I don't know why. Like, what is up with the inconsistency? Some of the Genshin figures, they don't bother to mention their name, while the others, they put their brand name MiHoYo over there. So this one is a big yes. Pre-order it if you love Castoris. This is a surprise to me. I did not see this one coming so soon. Like, third parties have been making Castoris figures for the past few months, so many to choose from, and I was quite surprised by how quickly a genuine figure brand is responding right now, because this wasn't the case in the past, right? Back then, we have so many Kafka figures, for example, and third parties just ignored. Until very recently, we have the Mietos Gift Plus, the purple dress that just came out, and then Apex has a scale figure of her on pre-order, and that is like 1 or 2 years after the endless spams by third parties, right? So this time around, they are responding pretty fast. Interesting. Okay, the next Castoris over here is a third party, Singfei Studio, 1/6 scale, $293. No release date yet, and this is a very nice Castoris figure. I can't zoom in anymore. Low resolution image, but it looks amazing. And I wonder if that moon behind her actually has LEDs in it. It is not mentioned over here, so it is very unlikely and not an important feature to me, but it would be nice to have those. Face, it looks fine. Like, from this distance at least, it doesn't seem like there are any problems with the face. So this is actually potentially a good pre-order. Moving up next, interesting, we have this Sparkle from Honkai Star Rail by Yoying Studio. This one was released last year. And now we have a version 2.0 where you can pre-order her again for $167. Releasing, okay, no release date yet. The first release from last year that was customable, you could get a deluxe version with, yeah, the pink slit and so on that you love so much. This time around, there is no second option because that is no longer allowed, obviously. This one is still like very lewd in a way, you know. Yeah, very fan servicey and still worth getting if you missed out the first release and you want a figure of Sparkle. There are no genuine PVC figures of her yet. Still worth considering for this one. Okay, moving up next, we have Firefly from Honkai Star Rail by XB Studio, $184, September 2026 release. And this is actually one of the better school uniform figures of Firefly I've seen. You know, these third parties, they go all out with Firefly in her battle outfit with Sam behind her for $500. And then when it is school uniform, they do a trash job about it. But not this one. This one actually looks great. Yeah. So this could be worth considering. But Firefly is one of those characters where I believe it is just a matter of time before Amiato's Gift Plus appears. Yeah, just a matter of time. Though that would be 1/8, not 1/6. Moving up next, this is my favorite third party this week, FWS Studio Yinlin from Wuthering Waves, 1/6 scale. But as you can see, this is a complex figure, so she cost $345, releasing in March next year. Wow. Like, this is hands down the best third party this week, no contest at all. Nothing else comes close. And that Nikkei figure earlier, Modonia, that doesn't count, that is a licensed original figure. Best third party this week. This is bonkers. I want it, you know. Wow. The face is perfect. The face is perfect. And not only that, the effect parts over here look amazing, even though I'm normally not a fan of them. And, whoa. Details for people like me. Damn. This thing is amazing. Yeah, I'm leaving the link right up here. Okay, $345 is really pricey though for 1/6, but I can understand why, given the complexity of this figure, so much stuff is going on. If a genuine figure made something like, genuine figure brand, made something like this in 1/6, this would be at least 40,000 yen as well. Yeah, if not more. Moving up next from Hakimi Studio, I'm not sure if I covered this last week, it feels familiar, but anyways, quick mention, this Wuthering Waves Katya, I think I covered this already, damn. So this adult version, matured version, $416 with that big wings and big background, and then standard version over here without those wings, going for $266, and version B, Lolly is better. This is what I would take. $248, and C deluxe version, you get both, right? Yeah, both. Yeah, both would be best because these are not exactly the same figure, the younger and the mature version, but I would be happy with this. This is cute, this is great. But this is not my favorite Katya figures. There are a few others that look slightly nicer, the pose and everything, yeah. Moving up next, we have St. Louis from Azur Lane by BB Girl Studio at an overpriced $186. No release date yet. Guess what? Don't bother with this one. Get the one by Alter, as long you don't mind risking that mold issue. Or get the one by Elegant, which is even cheaper. I think that is around 20,000 yen. And regardless of which one you choose, they still look better than this one. That's the thing. Like, what the heck? What is BB Girl Studio thinking over here? Moving up next, we have Chenben Yinggong Zhao Studio. What the heck? Brown Dust 2 Iron Monarch Wilhelmina. Okay, this one is an early bird pre-order. We don't have a price or release date yet. Looking nice so far, looking great. For some reason, reminds me of Asuna from Blue Archive, except the other eye is covered. And smaller Oppai, I suppose. This is like Blue Archive, Asuna, some similarities over there, okay? And Brown Dust 2. Another Gunner game. Yeah. The genuine figures are coming soon, right? There were several announcements, but nothing is out yet, not even the prototypes. And the last figure for today is by Yao Mingming Studio, which is great. The brand is great. I also covered it in my recent episode of third-party figure reviews. This is Zenless Zone 0 Yishen, $168. Quite reasonable considering the entire package. You get the table, the base and everything, right? And the pose is very seductive without being overly lewd at the same time. $168 is fine. March 2026 release. March 2026 release, and other than the fine backside, the face is also fine. Her face looks really nice. So this is also a very good figure pre-order this week among the third parties. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you get? Let me know down in the comments below. It has to be one of those 1x4 Azur Lane Season 8. Or, yeah, Genshin Impact Shenhe. Yeah. So until then, I hope that you found this video helpful, informative, or enjoyable at least. Please do give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. I will be reviewing every single figure in my recent anime figure haul starting from this coming week. Yeah, I will review them one by one. So subscribe to this channel for more content like this every week. And until then, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.